You know, when you're building for the cloud, every little thing matters. We're talking about milliseconds, megabytes, they all add up. And the framework you pick, that's not just some minor choice. Oh no, it's the bedrock of your app's performance, how it scales, and yeah, even how much it's going to cost you. So today, we're putting 3 of the biggest names in Node.js head-to-head in a proper cloud showdown.
So, this is the big question, right? Express, Fastify, or NestJS? Which one should you be using for your next cloud app? I mean, are you spinning up a quick little microservice? Or maybe a super high-performance API? Or are you in it for the long haul with a massive, complex system? The answer to that is going to tell you which of these is your champion. So, let's dig into the data and figure this out.
All right, let's meet our contenders. In this corner, we've got Express. This is a lightweight veteran, the one that's been around the block, powering a massive chunk of the web with its minimalist, do-what-you-want philosophy. Then, stepping into the ring is Fastify, the speed-focused challenger, built for one thing, raw performance with as little overhead as possible. And finally, we have NestJS, the structured heavyweight. This one brings that big, enterprise-style architecture right into the Node.js world. So yeah, 3 very different fighters with 3 very different game plans.
Okay, round 1, the cold start race. This is a big one, especially in the serverless world. See, your function can just be sitting there doing nothing, completely idle. A cold start is that delay, the time it takes to wake up and actually handle that first request. And believe me, for anything your users see, every single millisecond of that delay counts. Here's a good way to think about it. A cold start is basically the serverless tax. It's the price you pay for all that convenience. Before your code can do anything, the cloud provider has to spin up a whole environment for it. And for an API, that little bit of extra latency, well, that can be the difference between a user thinking, wow, that was fast, and just getting frustrated and leaving.
And boom, right out of the gate, look at this. Express and Fastify are practically neck and neck. Express is sitting around 379 milliseconds, and Fastify is just a hair slower at 390. I mean, that is seriously quick off the line. It really shows off just how lightweight they are. But then, well, then we have NestJS.
Whoa, 815 milliseconds. I mean, that is a huge difference. NestJS is taking more than double the time to get up and running compared to the other 2. Now, this isn't because it's bad or anything. It's a trade-off, plain and simple. It's got this super powerful, layered architecture with all the bells and whistles like dependency injection, and all that just takes more work to get started. You're seeing the cost of that power right here.
All right, so a quick start is great, but what happens when things get intense? How do these frameworks handle real pressure? We're switching gears now, from a quick sprint to an absolute marathon. We're going to throw some serious traffic at them, ramping it up from light to totally extreme, and see who cracks first.
So we start with a pretty light load, 100 virtual users. And honestly, it's smooth sailing for everybody. The latency is super low for all of them. Success rate is pretty much a perfect 100%. At this point, you could pick any of them and be happy. But you know, the real test is just getting started.
Okay, let's crank it up to 1,000 users. And wow, okay, now things are getting interesting. Look at those error rates. They've jumped past 94% for everyone. And check out Fastify's P95 latency. That's the response time for the slowest 5% of requests, basically your worst-case scenario, and it's spiked over 200 milliseconds. What's kind of surprising is that NestJS actually has the lowest average latency here. But let's be real, all 3 of them are clearly starting to feel the burn.
And now for the final test, 10,000 virtual users. And what we're seeing here is a complete meltdown. Total system failure. The errors have just exploded for all 3. We're talking hundreds of thousands of them. The success rate, it's basically 0. We're under 0.25%. This isn't about one of them being better. This is about finding the breaking point. And under these extreme conditions, they all hit a wall. Hard.
Okay, wow. After that absolute bloodbath of a stress test, it's time to check the damage. And you know, performance isn't just about how fast you can go. It's also about how much fuel you burn along the way. How many resources did each one use? Because in the cloud, more resources equals a bigger bill. Simple as that.
And the results here really tell a story. Express totally lives up to its name, right? It's the minimalist, using just 85 megs of memory, super lean. Fastify is right on its heels at 90. But then you've got NestJS, and with all its features and structure, it needs 112 megs. This isn't good or bad, it just perfectly reflects what they are. Express gives you just the essentials. NestJS gives you the whole kitchen sink.
So let's just break down that warm performance. That's when the function's already up and running. When it comes to pure speed,
Fastify is the undisputed champion. 3.3 milliseconds, unbelievably fast. For memory efficiency, Express is the king, no question, with the lowest usage. And NestJS? Well, it's the slowest and heaviest in this test, but it brings that structure that the others just can't match. It's like each one gets a gold medal in a totally different event.
All right, so we've been geeking out on raw numbers this whole time. But let's be honest, building a real app isn't just about winning a speed test. It's about building something that you and your team can actually live with, maintain, and scale for years to come. And that's where the conversation shifts to architecture. And this is really the core question, isn't it? Is raw speed the only thing that matters? Especially when you're talking about a complex app that's going to be around for a while. If you've got a big team and your business logic is a tangled mess, is the fastest framework really the best one? Or is its lack of structure just a recipe for disaster later on?
This is exactly where something called domain-driven design, or DDD, comes into the picture. It's a really powerful idea. Basically, it says you should build your code around your business logic, the domain, instead of just focusing on technical stuff like what database you're using. And this, right here, is where a framework like NestJS is built to shine.
So, how does it work? Well, DDD splits your app into these really clean, separate layers. You've got your domain layer, which is just for your core business rules, totally isolated. Then the application layer, which kind of acts as the conductor, coordinating everything. The infrastructure layer, that's all the technical plumbing, databases, external services, you name it. And finally, the interface layer is how users actually talk to your app. This separation is the key to keeping huge apps from becoming a nightmare to maintain. And that is the trade-off you make with NestJS. That's why you have that higher cold start and memory use. It's the price of sanity.
Okay, after the cold start race, the brutal stress test, and a look at the architecture, who's the winner? Who's our champion? Well, the truth is, there isn't one. The real champion is the framework that's right for the job you're trying to do. Let's just put it on a table, make it super clear. You should grab Express if you're building simple microservices or internal APIs where you just need something lightweight and predictable. The catch? It's not going to scale great under a really heavy load. You should go for Fastify when raw speed is the name of the game. Performance-critical APIs? This is your guy. Just know that it can get a little unstable when you really push it. And finally, you pick NestJS when you're building a big, complex beast of an application. That structured architecture will be a lifesaver down the road, even if you have to live with that slower cold start and higher memory footprint.
So in the end, that's what it all boils down to, isn't it? A series of trade-offs. Are you optimizing for performance or for structure? For pure speed or for long-term scalability? There's no single right answer. There's only the right answer for your next project. So now you've got the data. Which trade-off are you going to make?